Welcome back to an all-new Amish Space Top 10s. Today we're going to be going over the top 10 greatest horror movies of all time in celebration of Halloween. Coming in at number 10 is Christine. Here we find an underrated masterpiece written by none other than Stephen King. It's the film where he broadened his subject material from spooky laundry folding machines to spooky cars. And let's not forget how scary cars can be. Remember that more people are killed every year with cars than with guns. Plus, a dude fucks a car like cars were invented yesterday, which is actually the only reason any of us like this movie.
Number 9. Number 9 is Eraserhead. This biopic tells the story about David Lynch's birth and how his mother was only pregnant with him for 3 weeks before going into labor. From a directorial perspective, he explores the metaphysical concepts of what may happen if infants had feelings, and how long a human can survive inside of a radiator. Add in the gripping and stunning poetic dialogue, and the surreal and unsettling imagery, and you've got spooks that keep coming. It was also made in the 1970s, which is before color was even invented. Number 8. Number 8 is Reanimated. Here we have a film that has recently been more known for its cult status more than anything else. It's the story of a young man who follows his dreams of being a cartoonist. Once he arrives in Hollywood, though, things are not what he expects. This film details his terrifying experiences encountering wildlife, crippling disease, and even women. The real spook comes from the fact that some Hollywood producer actually let Tom Green make a feature-length movie. Number 7. Number 7 is Friday the 13th. This is the second installment of the Friday series. This is a film that features a woman named Mrs. Voorhees as a boy named Jason Voorhees as a guy in a hockey mask as an undead killer. It originally gained a lot of publicity at the time of its release due to the controversy of how it attempted to raise awareness of the dangers of anyone who is taller than 6 foot 4 inches. If that doesn't scare you, seeing how poorly Kevin Bacon has aged will. It is so spooky. The spooks are coming all over my face. Number 6. Number 6 is The Descent. This movie takes our number 6 spot because it is the only horror movie ever to pass the fabled Bechdel test. In this film, the main characters are strong female leads looking to test their equality by invading and obliterating a population of blind, deaf, and disabled subterranean creatures. And then they die. This is truly spooky. Coming in at number 5, The Blair Witch Project. The year 1999 brought us some of the greatest films of all time, and The Blair Witch Project might be the best of them all. The stunning imagery and found footage cinematography were groundbreaking for the time. This film tells the story of a school project gone wrong, and a group of teens being forced to be outside, proving that kids are the worst, and that everyone should be castrated for the greater good of humanity. Number 4. Number 4 is Nightmare on Elm Street. Very few horror films have as iconic antagonists as Nightmare on Elm Street, but what makes this movie truly terrifying is the ambiguity of its subliminal messages. Take for example the scene of Johnny Depp's death. Not only is this scene the former record holder for the most gallons of diarrhea used in a film, but its origins go all the way back to a conversation Johnny Depp had with Wes Craven earlier in production. Wes Craven originally wanted to use real human blood for this scene, which had already been really rare to come by at the time since the Great Blood Shortage of 1962. Johnny Depp then suggested using diarrhea instead, as it would be symbolic for the quality of his career post the year 2001. Other people speculate this movie was also a cry for help by director Wes Craven. He believed that he was nearing the end of his life, and sadly, Craven would pass away only 31 years after this film was released. Number 3. Number 3 is The Ring. Did you guys know that this version of The Ring is actually a remake? Yeah, it was a remake of a Japanese movie called Rodu Obuzuringu, written by J.R.R. Tolkien senpai. In the original story, Frodo-chan and Samwise-kun come across an evil ring. All of a sudden, Gandalf senpai comes in and tells them if they don't destroy it, it'll wreck their shit in 7 days. Number 2. Number 2 is... Now before we get into our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
What are you gonna do? Knock my block off? Damn!
None of you motherfuckers don't care enough about a brother to even just see what's going on in a nigga life. Sometimes a nigga need a hug or something, you know what I'm saying?
And finally, number 1. Number 1 is The Shining, our second Stephen King-based film on this list. This is the movie that broke A Nightmare on Elm Street's record for the most gallons of diarrhea used as a prop in a film. In an attempt to put his own spin on the story, and for authenticity, the director Stanley Kubrick actually locked Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall in a hotel for months. In spite of how many liberties Kubrick took with the story in his movie, some elements of horror and terror remain the same as in the book written by Stephen King. Like King's tired and masturbatory way of writing about the challenges that come with choosing a dead-end job like being an author,